Hi, congratulations on your movie.
Thank you so much.
What was it about Whitney that made you want to sort of be part of this project?
You know, I was completely unfamiliar with her story before I was brought the concept of this film, and I just, first of all, I couldn't believe I hadn't heard this story before. It was like the woman who was one of the main people behind Tinder also created Bumble and has this, you know, really dramatic, traumatizing but then victorious story. Like, how is this not already a film? And you know, there are a lot of things that would make amazing films that I think are exciting, but her story really spoke to me in terms of, you know, working in a male-dominated workplace and trying to navigate how to behave and how to sort of, you know, how to succeed without selling yourself out, and like all of those topics and themes that are things I've sort of been mulling over and obsessing over for a long time. I thought Whitney's incredible story was a wonderful way to talk about them, and she, you know, she's just, she I just really connected to so much about her story.
You mentioned some of the themes there, but I think the main two themes for me to take away from this were the Me Too movement and also the sort of the sexism in the tech industry in general. Did you do much research when you were doing this to sort of be able to relay really what happened around that time?
Yes, my writing partner, Bill Parker, and I did a ton of research. We read, you know, because this was very well documented at the time, both the sort of the difficult side of it, but then also even just as Tinder's coming up and then as Bumble's coming up, you know, these are all things that were really well covered. And so we read every article, we pored over all the court documents, we stalked everyone's old social media. I mean, you know, we really, it was so important to me to have as deep a well of research as possible to really be able to do this story justice. And in addition, you know, there's a number of books, like one that stands out is Brotopia, that, you know, that take you into the culture of the time. So we got, as well researched and specific as we could.
Your main character obviously has signed an NDA. The real person has signed an NDA, so she couldn't really. She couldn't really talk freely about her experiences. Did that make it difficult for you to get the full details? Because at the end of the movie, it says that it's not completely sort of word for word.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I think it is common to tell, you know, true stories without involvement, and there's a nice level of objectivity it allows, but it also feels like a huge responsibility, you know, and it's something that I take incredibly seriously. And so, you know, being as well researched as we could, knowing though that not only do we not have all the information, that real life is complex and there's things that we can never know, but also that, you know, we're telling a specific story. We're not telling like a list of facts. We're sort of shaping her story into how I feel about it and how I see it. It ends up being sort of this amalgamation of, you know, as fact-based as we can be and as much information as we can draw from, but then thematically, what can we pull out to really convey the emotion?
Your film just premiered at Toronto Film Festival. What was your experience of presenting a film there?
It was incredible. The Toronto premiere was absolutely incredible. I mean, the audience, they say the Toronto audiences are the best in the world, and the reaction in that room was just like beyond my dreams. And my last couple films both came out during COVID, so to have a premiere with a bunch of people in a room was it meant so much to me. It was just exciting for the actors and for everyone for our film.
Brilliant. It was such a brilliant movie to present to even younger female audiences. So thank you so much for your time, and
thank you.
Congratulations again.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey you guys.
Hey you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys.
Hey you guys.